Facebook, you own, and you have complete control over who sees it and how you share it.
Not so much. Another bombshell report by the New York Times exposes how Facebook let more than 150 companies have more intrusive access to its users' personal data than it ever let on. The Times reports, quote, Facebook allowed Microsoft's Bing search engine to see all the names of virtually all Facebook users' friends without consent, gave Netflix and Spotify the ability to read Facebook users' private messages, permitted Amazon to obtain users' names and contact information through their friends, and it let Yahoo view streams of friends' posts as recently as this summer. This is your reporting. Wow.
Yeah, look, this is what we're coming down to.
Let me just say, Amazon knows everything about me. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, it makes me sweat.
Amazon, Google, and Facebook know more about more human beings than any autocracy ever invented in the history of the world.
That's right. That's right.
And they're not run by bad people now, arguably, but if they were, well, this is very dangerous.
But let me push back. Bad people have hijacked those platforms and technologies. As Michelle said, we report this week to the Senate.
Look, think about Facebook's branding over the past few years, right? So the internet is a dangerous, creepy, weird place, but come into our walled garden and you can hang out with your friends and your kids and post your pictures and send messages and it will all be safe. In reality, they threw a huge rager in that garden and invited all their friends to come and look at your stuff all the time.
So let me take the garden thing. So here's my problem with Facebook. They knew they messed up their garden. And they came out and did a whole new rebranding. Like, oh, we're so sorry about messing up your garden. We fixed the garden. They never fixed the garden.
No, in fact, they added doorways to the garden for the biggest companies in the world while closing the doorways for these little app companies and app developers. That's what they did. And they did it for themselves. They did it to get bigger and make more money. And here's how it worked, right? So let's say that you and Michelle are friends on Facebook, and you are on Spotify and sign in with Facebook. Okay, that's kind of on you. But then Facebook says, well, if you guys are already friends and Michelle has said that you can see her stuff, then you can see it on Spotify too. And so Spotify now has it. But nobody ever asked Michelle, but nobody ever asked her if she wanted Spotify to have her stuff.
Okay, I'm laughing because I have a mean question. I want to understand why Facebook gets away with it, and I have a theory. It's that people in Congress have no idea what you just said.
Yeah. There actually are people in Congress who know it very well, as on any substantive issue. Senator Thune on the Republican side, Senator Burr, Senator Wyden on the Democratic side, Senator Warner. They all have proposals, but the clout and power of Silicon Valley is significant even now. And for a very long time, the Democrats thought that Silicon Valley were their friends and didn't want to hijack them. And Republicans said, well, they're a growing business. I don't want to get in the way of that. So everybody steered clear, and that is why there are no rules around any of this. The only rule is you can do what you want, but you can't lie about it. And they've even arguably broken that rule.
I think this is as serious as steroids in sports, as a sort of technology version of a 9/11 attack. And I don't understand why there isn't a commission looking at how these companies are running roughshod over liberties and letting foreign adversaries hijack their platforms.
Right, but I mean, I think it's just what Nick just said, that there's not really been until now a political constituency for this. You know, the natural political constituency for this would be in the Democratic Party, which is both historically suspicious of big corporate monopolies and sort of overweening corporate power and privacy concerns. But these are huge Democratic donors by and large.
Can you just tell them, like, dear Democratic donor, Facebook helped elect Trump, make sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, I think that's starting to happen, right? And I think you're starting to see some estrangement. But it's been reported in the past that, Chuck Schumer has said, don't go after Facebook. They're our friends, figure out ways to work with them. Again, I think that that's changing. I think that people are starting to see that, despite the sort of progressive things that Mark Zuckerberg says, or Sheryl Sandberg's attempt to present herself as this sort of feminist
icon, they Democrats?
That it's actually a very yes. Oh, yeah,
Sheryl Sandberg is.
Sheryl Sandberg, right.
I mean,
Sheryl Sandberg was somebody who was probably going to be in a Hillary Clinton administration if there had been one.
Oh, God.
But I think that
put her in charge of the computers.
I think it's starting to dawn on people that this is a really, just like a kind of rapacious company, and actually there is nothing like it in history, like what you just said, in terms of what it knows about all of us. And imagine what it could do if it was really sinister. I mean,
well, I guess my question, Ron Clayton, is how do we know that it isn't? How do we know that it seems to me that Facebook is being used by sinister parties for sinister purposes? It feels like we're already there. Why aren't the alarms flashing?
Well, look, I think that clearly, it was used by some sinister people in 2016, that's for sure. We're learning more and more about that.
But it took 2 years to learn about that. How do we know that they're not doing something now that's going to take 2 more years to uncover by Nick?
Maybe. I mean, I think it's all kind of, I think Nick is catching up in real time, that's for sure. I mean, look, I do think it goes back to 2 things. One is, as you mentioned before, Nick did a nice job of name-checking a few members of Congress, but we do have a problem that most of the House, most of the Senate don't really get the technology. They don't really know what's going on. It's very hard for them to exert oversight over it. And second, you have the Republicans who are chasing a big canard. They're obsessed with the idea that these platforms are biased against them. I was hearing with the head of Google last week where they were kind of ruminating that there's some guy at Google who's changing the search results.
I Googled myself and bad stuff came out. Well, don't do bad stuff. That's not Google's fault.
And I think if half the Congress is chasing after this ridiculous idea that Facebook and Google are on a jihad against Republicans, it really makes it hard for Congress to do its job of doing some reasonable oversight here.
It's both sides. You've got members. We all saw the videos last week. Why does my phone not? Does Google know where I am? Right. We have lots of members who have a lot of power who don't know anything, and it has not yet hit crisis levels with the public, and that's the issue. People still go onto Target and give all of their information for a 5% discount, right? And we don't care about it. We hear about American Express and credit cards losing tons of information. We laugh when celebrities' phones are hacked into and the information goes. It hasn't hit us. Facebook has to do something that exposes the grandmas in the Midwest and the moms and dads. It has to be something so horrendous that the public starts to scream for Congress to do something, and that hasn't happened yet.
And has Facebook responded to your reporting?
Yeah, look, their argument is sure there were some mistakes and we lost track of some of this data.
I've used that before.
But their basic argument is that all this is okay because of what I said earlier, that if you are sharing stuff with your friends, then your friends can get it anywhere they want, and those companies can in turn see it. That's their argument. I've talked to 4 former officials at the FTC who all think the argument is bogus, but it's up to the FTC to decide if, in fact, that is consistent with the consent decree that Facebook signed 5 years ago.
Well, I'm glad you're on the beat.
Thank you.
We're going to sneak in our very last break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.